Hi, Cooler fans. We're going to take a look at the Bitfenix Cube ARGB AIO. Doesn't that look hefty? It is kind of hefty, actually. I'll show you the specs on screen. Unfortunately, they are a bit stingy about the specs. I do want to show you the specs for the thermal compound. It's called the TF10 Extreme. And according to this, it's pretty darn good. Now here are some specs for the fans. And as we can see, the maximum airflow is 63.5, and then air pressure goes up to 3 millimeters at 36 decibels. It doesn't tell us about the pump, unfortunately. But from what you can see on the screen, you should be able to see that it goes up to 5,500 RPMs. So that's good. We want to see that. Higher numbers are better, in my opinion. And aside from that, the only other thing I wanted to show you was they compared this to the Leon Lee Galahad Trinity Performance, I think it was. And wow. So according to them, yeah, we can see here the Bitfenix Cube versus the Trinity. Oh, I'm sorry, not the Trinity Performance. The Trinity has a 5.3 edge on CPU max and 1 degree difference on the average, and 3 degree difference on the package, and it has 1.7 degrees on the CPU package average, whereas the IQ from Corsair H150i Elite Caplix XT is better than the Galahad 2 Trinity. It's also a lot more expensive than it should be, but you can see the difference here. Also a little bit of a difference, 1.3, and then we can see 4.7, and 1 degree, and then 2 degrees, and that holds true also with the 240. We can see the differences there. Now it does support ASUS, ASRock, BioStar, Gigabyte, and MSI. It comes with, of course, the mounting kit. There's the TF10 Extreme thermal paste and all the doodads you need in there. And it comes with 3, and I love this. The name of these fans is the BFF-add. No, hold on a second. Best friend forever, add. So it's like you're playing a video game and suddenly you get 1, 2, 3 new best friends. BFF-add-12025KHS-IP. It's got an IP. Intellectual property. Or maybe it's an IP address. I don't know. And it has really short cables, so you can daisy chain easily or use a splitter. It does have, for the lighting, it does use SMJST, so that's a bit of a pain. However, not a big deal because they provide you with a splitter for PWM, and they also provide you an adapter to go from SMJST to standard ARGB. So daisy chain them together, then connect them to the adapter for the ARGB so you can plug it into your motherboard. Why they couldn't just, use a standard ARGB connector, I don't know. I understand the desire to get away from the standard ARGB connector and use SMJST instead. But, the problem is there's no standard for SMJST. So if you use the wrong adapter for an SMJST that doesn't standard, you're going to burn out your LEDs. I did that. It didn't smell good. And they didn't work anymore. So then we have, of course, the radiator. And there is right there, that's the fill port. Because, no, not because, but you also get some coolant with the kit. So that's nice. You can top it off. And one of the really interesting things about this one is that you actually see inside of your water block, which I like. I like the idea of being able to see in my water block so I can see if there's like stuff built up, air or whatever it is. So that's nice. And the pump is not in the water block. There's just this connector for ARGB standard. The pump is on the tubes with enough distance from the radiator that you're not likely to have it up at the same height as the radiator and thus cause air buildup here. It's a rather interesting looking pump. And let's go back to the website for a second here. All right, so we can see here that they took an old design and made a brand new pump, 5,500 RPMs, and vertical lift or head of up to 1.8 meters. That's really good because 1.8 meters is around 6 feet 1 inches, and it has maximum noise of 15 decibels. So very nice. And of course, like it says, it has a refill port. And then it talks about the beauty of this radiator with 12 heatsink water tunnels. Nice. At least in theory. I want to plug in the pump and see how noisy it is. The noise you're hearing is not actually the pump directly. What I'm doing here is I wanted to demonstrate a little acoustic effect. I've got the radiator sitting inside of the cardboard tray that this was packed in. So what's happening is the radiator is touching or close to the cardboard, and so the vibrations from the pump are going through the radiator and are being amplified by this. So when I take it out, all we hear now is water. So I do hear noise. I do hear water flow. And I can hear the sound of the pump all the way through this thing. So if I press it against my jawbone, I get it in stereo. Now, that's probably true of others. However, I've never actually noticed this before. So if you discover that your case is noisy after putting this in, like you're hearing, I don't know if you could hear that or not, but if you're hearing a weird noise, you may need to add some kind of like insulation between the case and the radiator, and especially to eliminate the transference of the vibrations into your case. Now, I thought perhaps that if I held it the right way, this would stop. I'm still hearing the sound of water movement, which I did not expect to hear. And I'm thinking that the pump is just so fast that the air needs a lot of time to settle out. So if I hold it like this, eventually the air will get trapped up here. So, but yeah, I'm gonna try a little experiment and flip it around and see if the air can accumulate in the block at all. Oh yeah. as soon as I put it at an angle like this, there was a bubble of air, and suddenly it just burst into this and became micro bubbles within there. So yeah, there is a small amount of air in here, and that's normal for an AIO. It's almost impossible for them to fill it up to the point where there's not going to be any air. Now you can shake it like this to try and force the bubbles out. But I just want to show you what I've accumulated. You can see that big bubble right there by my finger. It wasn't that big before. So yeah, there's probably still more because I still hear air moving around in there. But I'm not going to spend all my time having you watch me try to get the air out. What I would just do is go in the opposite direction and allow all that air out. And you'll have to move the block around in order to make sure it all escapes. My arm's getting tired from doing this. Too much exercise. But yeah, now all I see are micro bubbles, which I cannot dislodge. But now you don't see that big air bubble anymore. It's all going up into the radiator, which is what you want. Preferably here, not here. Since this microphone is not sensitive enough to pick up the noise from the pump, I'm going to use this so you can hear it.
That's really quiet. From here, I can't hear it anymore. Now, when I do this, when I put this radiator into here, it amplifies that noise. At least somewhat. And the air is getting trapped in the water block. So depending on where you place this, it's going to determine whether there's air getting stuck in the water block, but I don't think it's going to be enough to be a problem.
So it seems to me like Bitfenix could do something to work on that vibration problem. Interestingly, now there are even more micro bubbles in there. A lot. So that tells me that the speed of the pump is breaking up the air bubbles, turning them into micro bubbles, and wherever the current is slow enough, they're settling. Yeah, that's exactly what's happening, because now I'm getting... So it may be a while before you're able to get all the air out because the pump is as strong as it is. But on the bright side, you don't have to worry about the water stalling. And now the fan. I'm only going to show you one. And it's very basic. I don't have it on full speed right now. And you can see the positions of the LEDs because they didn't make the plastic thick enough at the base of the impeller's hub. So that is visible. For me, at least. I don't know about you, but for me, it's visible directly and indirectly. On my screen, it's different. It doesn't look right. So let's listen to the volume. That's as low as I can get it. There's a harmonic resonance. Nope, it's not. It's something else. There's a background lower tone. That's what I thought was the harmonic resonance. There's a harmonic resonance. And that was almost at maximum RPMs. Yeah, right below maximum RPMs is where that is, and that's the only one I noticed. So, good that there's only one, and hopefully your fans aren't often going to need to go to just below maximum RPMs. But as far as they claim 3 for static pressure, I do not feel 3. I feel like 1.5 is the actual static pressure. Of course, I'm just using my hand to judge this. But it really, where it feels significance, it's only about 1. So we'll wait and see what it looks like once I do my actual testing. But if my hand is correct, then you would need to replace the fans on this with something better to help increase the results. But since the pump is so fast, you may not see any results. But I will also test what happens when I put Superflower Mega Cools on the radiator. So, this is only based on the specs that have been provided by Bitfenix. How much of that is accuracy and how much of that is marketing liars? I don't know. I don't know what Bitfenix's reputation is for being honest. I know some of the big companies out there are big because they constantly lie to the public. Like Asus and Gigabyte and Intel, some of the others. So, is it a good AIO? Well, that is not the purpose of this video. This video is just to familiarize you with the product, and I'll be going through as I have time in evaluating each by using testing. I'll use a manometer to test the pressure. I'll use an anemometer to figure out the airflow. I'll do sound testing. I'll replace the fans with Superflower Mega Cools, and so on and so forth. And then I will report to you how each of them perform, and then you can see as I progress how they compare to each other. Now, if you see a difference of 1, 2, 3 degrees, that really doesn't make much difference. But when it gets to 5 degrees difference in performance, that is significant, and especially if it's producing a lot of noise for some people, that's also a problem. Again, for me personally, I don't care about LEDs and I don't care about sound, but I know there are a lot of people out there that do. So look forward to that. I don't look forward to it. Just thinking about it makes me anxious, but I got to do it for you guys. So if you have any questions, just leave them down below in the comments, and I'll do my best to get back to you. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Need to ask for your help. I'm sorry. On December 11th, 2024, Amazon terminated me and used false accusations against me. And on December 17th, I had my left shoulder operated on. I'm getting a lot better. I can do some things with my hand, but and my arm, but it's still pretty limited. If you could please help me out by liking, subscribing, sharing, commenting, and turning on notifications for my channels, that would really help. If you want to help me financially and you can afford to, you can go to my Glenn's Fast Reviews and you can do a super thanks as a donation there. If you want to donate on a monthly basis, you can become a member there, and or you can go to patreon.com/GLENNMII. So thank you for that. Also, I'd like to say thank you to bleepingcomputer.com for allowing me to post messages on their forum about my videos. Thank you so much. And don't forget to visit them. They offer a lot of wonderful resources for people who are using computers. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.